Maybe sex would help now, I don't know.
Oh, yes. Wow. Never thought
Oh, God, that's last resort.
Hello. How is everyone? You may notice my background. I'm now in the foyer of the Troubadour Theatre by the bar. Where else would I be? And Debbie, darling, are you in a cupboard?
You know what? I'm sure I heard Harriet Thorpe speaking, but obviously my sound has gone funny.
Yeah, you wish.
You wish. I'm actually in my dressing room.
Oh,
So I just thought, I mean, not in a show actually, just in my own dressing room, in my own house, that I just haven't tell. Anyway,
Bitter.
it is Wednesday, and we have our lovely friend, Dr. Tracy Mountford, who is here with us in our nest. Tracy, hello.
Hey, Tracy. Hello.
Hi, Tracy.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome, Tracy. What to watch Wednesday? Well, the reason that I'm talking about this so quickly is because you and I last night, we were on the phone together, weren't we, about what I was watching and what you were watching.
We were watching all about cosmetic treatments, weren't we?
Yeah, on BBC. And it was, did you not see it, Sherry? It was with Michael Mosley. I just felt it was very biased. Did you, Tracy?
Yes. That's why I tend not to watch them. That's why I don't watch them very much. So I just sit there seething in the evening. It was a bit biased, I think, for interesting for people to watch. But there always is a bit of a spin on those things. And I do believe there should be the good, the bad and the ugly. I do believe it should be balanced. But I think it's always slightly spun in a negative way. Did you feel that way?
I felt that way when I was watching it, because this is my What to Watch Wednesday. When I was watching it, I just felt that, you know, they said little things like the women that they had came on afterwards, you know, who had the treatments, and said, you know, actually it's 100%. They feel so much better.
Yeah,
and that is the bottom line. They all felt brilliant. But you know, for them to say, actually, you know, the treatments didn't do you know, the water in the skin. And do you know what? Nobody cares. It's about how you feel, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought it was interesting, but, you know, and some of the treatments they profiled are going to take a long time to come to fruition. You can't look at it after, you know, 2 weeks and assess whether it's worked or not. So it was a bit biased. And that's why when I get invited to do those kind of programs, I respectfully decline.
Well, so what have you been watching on the other hand, Tracy?
Gruesome. Netflix.
Again?
Unsolved Mysteries. And something we touched on before on the show, Unsolved Mysteries. It's something called House of Terror. It's about a family in Nantes, in France. It was in 2011, and they disappeared overnight. They just disappeared. Wife, husband, 4 kids, 2 dogs. And they sent a note, the husband sent a note. He was a well-known sort of aristocrat in the area, very well-respected family, loving family. They just disappeared, and they couldn't find them. And he'd written notes to say they'd gone off to Australia, and then 2 weeks later, they were all found buried under the porch. So really interesting and very worth watching. The guy, the prime suspect, of course, he's still apparently on the run. So they're still looking for him, even all this time.
Still.
Well, thank you for that, darling.
Yeah.
Doom and gloom. Doom and gloom Wednesday with horror and blood. Thank you. I'm going to change it because I want to say what I've been watching, which is the 3rd series, Netflix, of Good Girls, which is about women, I suppose, of our era. It is hysterically funny, and it is also very moving, and every single episode has a cliffhanger. And these 3 women, for various reasons, one has a very, very ill daughter, another one's husband's having an affair, and it's extraordinary. And they rob a supermarket. And they meet up with a sort of gangster who's very seductive, and you get lured into that. But as the 3 series go on, it's hysterically funny and amazingly thrilling.
Can't wait to watch.
And there's it's not real life, darling. We don't want real life. Goodness me, Tracy. Because it's all about death, apparently. Anyway, who's next? Sherry.
Well, I've got 2 obsessions on the television. One is the repair shop.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I'm totally obsessed and cry like a baby.
Oh.
I hope they do a celebrity. I've got a couple of things I need repairing, and that's just. But Also, I have an obsession about eggheads. I don't know if you watch egg.
Yeah.
I've always had an obsession. It's on my phone. And in bed at night, I was telling Sarah about this last night, actually, funnily enough, that I have an obsession when I lie in bed that I have to play eggheads. And even when I want to go to sleep, I cannot, I have to hold my hand. I mean, it's like some sort of terrible drug I'm on. And I've got to find a therapist to get me off eggheads.
Do you need an intervention?
Oh, goodness.
Yes, sex wouldn't help. That wouldn't be an intervention.
No.
That would be more boring than eggheads. But I just love quizzes, you know, like eggheads, and I'm just, maybe sex would help now. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Never thought
Oh, God, that's last resort.
Well, that's
Yeah.
talking about sexy. What about the fall, eh?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, honestly, you guys, I was actually cursing all of you for telling me, well, Tracy and Debbie, for telling me to watch The Fall, because I've been obsessed and staying up until like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning watching it. But then I found something else. So I think was fed with this sort of the intrigue and the sort of danger, and I had to watch. So I then subscribed, having sort of completely done Netflix. I've subscribed to Amazon Prime, which is actually about £7 a month or something, so it's not too expensive. And I found this incredible series called Night Of, and it's about this young guy who gets exposed to a sort of a big drama, a big sort of crime drama, and he's accused of killing somebody he hasn't killed and put in prison. And it's the whole fight. But oh my God, it just gets you, a bit like The Fall, it just really, really gets you. And actually, I've written down his name. Hold on.
One to watch.
Because I actually predict this guy, and this was made about 3 or 4 years ago, but I've really got to look. Riz Ahmed was the lead, the young guy. He is stunning as an actor and gets you really hooked in. I mean, the storyline's brilliant, but he held it, the whole thing.
You had it here, folks.
Absolutely.
Night
You
Of.
heard it here.
Night Of.
And
It's awful.
Right. Well,
So
we're
Tracy,
dying to know. I'm
Tracy.
dying to know anyway for Tracy's treatments
yes,
of the week.
what is next?
Yeah, well, after last night's viewing, what we were talking about, I was seeing if they were going to mention this treatment, because it's one of the most searched treatments, and often a treatment that people just have alone and wouldn't consider anything else cosmetically. They wouldn't do anything else, but it's a treatment. Can you guess what it's about? Anybody?
No.
No. Okay, forget that.
No.
It's about eyes, tired eyes, looking hollow. Really tired eyes. It's one of the biggest non-surgical searches on the internet, which is really interesting.
What is that? Is that trough?
Yeah, the tear troughs.
Tear
The tear troughs.
Yeah.
And I think it's because even younger people, it's genetic often. Even young people can suffer with that really hollow, dark look, even if they're really young and lovely. And it isn't so much that they're bothered about looking young or looking great. It's that people comment, "Are you looking tired? Are you tired? You're really tired." And people actually get quite irritated by that in the end. And it's nothing to do with being particularly vain. It just irritates them.
Yeah.
So actually, one of the main and a really simple, easy fix for tired eyes, really simple and very safe in the right hands, is the F word. And it's using filler. Actually, it's because what causes generally hollowing of the tired eyes, and that is hollowing, because if you can imagine, if something's indented, I can't really show it here, it's darker. So it makes everything, if something's lost volume or it's got lacking in volume, the light doesn't reflect in the same way. But if you actually bring up the tissue, the light reflects really well. So actually a really quick fix, very simple as saying expert hands. You can literally just put filler deep on the bone, which sounds horrendous. Truthfully, it's not. Very easy. Dub, 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 dub. Goes along here, blend it in, and the light just reflects really well. It's one of those life-changing treatments. It really does. Wow. People say, this is amazing. And the good thing is, it's very inexpensive and it lasts at least a year to 18 months.
Wow.
So it's a no-brainer. It's such an easy treatment, but only by people who are used to doing that treatment. It's not a treatment you just have done by anybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
In my time, we just used to use a cucumber.
I know, we still do, don't we? And that's
What for, darling? What
Yes,
for?
exactly.
I'm just concerned. When you say use a cucumber, can we have some clarity?
Late
Late night shows. and tea bags. Tea bags as well. Yeah.
That's another thing. Can you not mention tea bags? It's just getting worse and worse. What are you doing, girls?
But it's really clever and it works really well. And the other last little one to say is as we get more mature, the other bit is up here, the top lid looks more indented. And this is highly specialist, really specialist. You can actually put filler on the top lid here and it lifts the eye out a bit. Yeah, honestly, it can't be done by the untrained.
Gosh.
Can you imagine getting someone with a needle in your eye?
The only way you could get your top lids done was surgery. I really thought that was the only way through.
Yeah, but this is more not necessarily to lift. This is more to stop that indent. You know, when you look more indented here as you get older, the eye shape almost changes. It just brings it up, and the eyes are refreshed. It's really clever, and again, one of the most searched after treatments.
Tracy, you are amazing. You know, I think these tips are invaluable. I'm so happy that you're part of our show.
Oh, thank you.
I know. And Tracy, I was going to say actually that I heard the other day. Is this true that the UK is the only country where anyone can sort of give you treatments? I mean, I would be really loath to actually have anything done. And, you know, I've been sort of holding off to have anything done, as you know, but unless you're qualified like you, because it's so, you know, you're playing around with your body and your face. And so I just, you know, I don't get it.
And your psychology, which is what we were saying earlier, you're messing with people's heads as well in other ways.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not regulated in the UK. I swear I get fed up with listening about it. We're talking about regulation since I've been in the industry, so 25 years, still nothing's done about it.
No.
Lots of bad treatments, lots of dodgy, you know, we just have to be.
I mean, even when you go to get your legs waxed, you've got a certificate on the wall saying that somebody has got their, you know, a certificate to do waxing. And yet, you know, people do, you know, all these treatments, and you see it, you know, if you want to go and get your, you know, if you want to go and get some certain treatments, you know, that people are doing, they can also do Botox. It terrifies me. It really does.
I think the message today is, as a sign-off almost message is, my advice would be, never go to somebody to have any of these treatments done that can't deal with the consequence of that treatment, who can't deal with a complication of that treatment. And if they can't, don't touch them with a barge pole, because they don't know what they're doing.
So you just need a doctor. You need a doctor like Tracy. Thank you, Angel.
Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that's told.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
I'm now going to bring in our special guest, the delightful, darling sensation from Strictly, Kristina Rihanoff. Hello there, welcome.
Hi everyone.
It's so exciting to see you, Kristina, especially in front of Thank you, especially in front of a waterfall. It's very impressive. Are you suspended on a swing or something? It looks amazing. But what I wanted to say to you, I am fascinated.
One of my studios, so it's a very
amazing.
lovely studio. So I thought it would be a lovely place for me to do the interview.
Perfect. It's perfect. Talking of your studio, where did you train? I trained at the Royal Ballet School before my tits grew, as I've said many times, never getting them into a tutu. But where did you train? What was your journey to Strictly?
Oh, journey started back in Soviet Russia. So I started dancing when I was 5 years old, and just started taking little dance classes when I was a kid, and just loved it so much. My dad is a musician, and so I guess I was always surrounded by music. And my mom took me to ballet school, but they said that I will never really succeed in ballet because apparently I didn't have a perfect turnout on my hips. So even at the age of 5, they could say that it would be quite difficult for me to pursue professionally ballet. And so they advised my mom to take me to ballroom dancing school or folk dancing. And that's how I ended up doing ballroom dancing, which was a good advice, I think, at that time. And yeah, I just started competing and I just loved it so much. It's all I wanted to do as a child, just dance. And so competed till the age of 20 in my country, and then was invited to teach actually in Seattle, Washington. So obviously when the Soviet Union fell apart and we went through perestroika and all that, the borders were open and we were able to travel. And I never really had an idea that actually I'm going to be dancing some other country, because you know, that's where I had my dance club. I already was teaching at that age, and I never thought of leaving. But, you know, I got an invitation from a school in Seattle, Washington, where they were looking for a Russian-speaking teacher. And so, yeah, I just moved to the States at the age of 23 in 2001 and started competing professionally and became a United States champion with my dance partner. Then I was invited to do a different style of dancing, so I kind of was just doing different things, and it all led me to Strictly. So
amazing.
And
do you go back a lot? Do you travel still back home, or is this your home now?
I've only been to Russia for 2 years now. So when Mila was 2 years old, I took her to see, obviously, my family. My mom travels here, but it's such a long way. It's a 16 hours journey. So with a toddler, it's a nightmare. So it's really hard. Yeah. So because I live on the other side from Moscow, everybody thinks that it's only sort of Russia is like a Moscow, St. Petersburg, but you fly to Moscow 4 hours and then you take 8 hours plane. So you fly from Moscow to Vladivostok. It's the end of the railroad. And we do close to Japan and China, so we're on the other side. So it's a very long journey and it's very exhausting with a little one. So
yes, I know. You probably need therapy after that.
Yes, I definitely did 2 years ago.
But so arriving at Strictly here and doing what you're doing now, that's thrilling and exciting.
Yes. Tell us about, so Kristina, I'm a great follower of mindfulness and meditation and yoga, and I believe you are too, and through lockdown you've been helping so many people, haven't you? Tell us about what you've been doing and how that's really helping.
What really happened, when I moved to the States, my dance partner introduced me to Bikram yoga. It's original hot yoga. So it's taken to that studio full of people and it's boiling hot, and I just really didn't understand any of that. But I just got so much into it. It just became my sort of a must do before competitions. We were at that yoga studio 4 times a week. It was an amazing workout, amazing conditioning. And not just for the body, but for the mind. Because obviously for that hour, you just on your own with the teacher, listening to the voice and being guided. And I just absolutely loved all the aspects of that. So for 22 years, I've been practicing yoga, but I've been practicing more, say, from the physical point of view, because I loved how it made my body feel. And I think I never quite realized what it did for my mental health as well. Because going through a competitive world, it's extremely competitive sort of scene, you know, in ballroom dancing. And you have to have a thick skin, just like you have to have when you're in show business. You know, there's a lot of ups and downs and so on. And so yoga definitely was so helpful. When I got on Strictly and moved to London, the first thing I Googled was yoga studio. And I remember going to a tiny little studio in Bolsover Street. So for my first yoga session in London, it's literally what I found the first thing when I got to my little flat. So it was always part of my well-being and mental health and physical health. And even during Strictly, you know, that amount of pressure, that amount of stress you go through, because it's an absolutely incredible show to be part of, but at the same time, you have a lot of pressure on your shoulder to deliver every week amazing routines. And if something goes wrong, it's kind of your fingers will point at you, you know, and so on. So to deal with all of that mindfulness, that sort of skills I learned being a yoga practitioner helped me no end. And I sort of always felt like I want to go back to it once I left Strictly. So I had my little one. And I thought this is the time for me to actually become a yoga teacher. And I found a studio where they were providing with the teacher training. So I did my 200 hours as a yoga teacher, but then I did loads of add-ons: pregnancy, postnatal, mindful meditation, chair yoga for those on wheelchair or mobility issues, children's yoga. I just did loads of add-ons because I just wanted to expand, and that's how the kind of well-being center were born. Because Ben and I.
Where is your studio?
Wow.
Yeah, my studio is in Northampton. That's where we're based. So Ben is a Northampton boy. That's where he did his, played for Saints and for England. So we just opened that well-being center a year ago. He does the fitness side. I do the well-being and the yoga side. Probably wasn't the best time to open the studios, but we did know the pandemic is going to happen. And so, but during the lockdown, we moved all of our classes online, obviously for our members. But then we kind of I felt there was such a big need to get people involved into the mindfulness and meditation, because everybody can do it, even if it's 5-10 minutes a day. You don't have to be an expert in yoga per se, but you can practice mindfulness and meditation. An amount of people we kind of converted to love yoga and to love meditation was really great. So when we opened now a couple of weeks ago, when we were allowed to open, lots of people came through the door and said, you know what, you helped us so much. And that's such a beautiful thing to hear. It makes
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Kristina, can I talk to you about Strictly? Because obviously you were on it for a long time. You did have some dancing partners, you had Simon Webb, who's fantastic.
Yes.
But you did have John Sargent at one point, which the easiest, but it was very funny.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, because of Dancing on this, what do you feel about the same-sex dancing rule that they're now going to impose?
Look, for me personally, because I know about history of many dances, and a lot of dances originate as two men dancing together. It's nothing to, for example, mambo, Argentine tango, and even flamenco. A lot of dances actually have men-to-men dancing against each other. I don't exactly see it as a sort of something is going to go wrong, or it's a wrong thing to offer. I think there is a sort of, it's about time we probably see a same-sex couple, but also why it has to be two men? It could be two women dancing together. And, I am very traditional, and I do teach children, and I teach them, obviously, ballroom dancing when it's all about men and women. But at the same time, I think we ought to kind of expand a little bit of our mind now and see something perhaps which others would love to see on the show. So I would love to see it, and I would love to embrace it. I think it would be good.
Who would you dance with? You?
Well, I think I kind of was asked that question, and it made into a big story in the papers that I want to dance with Nicole Scherzinger. I just, trust the tabloids to kind of make a big dish out of it. I just said, look, someone like her, obviously, who is stunning and she's trained in dancing, would be absolutely beautiful. But it doesn't really matter who is going to be, it could be anyone really, because at the end of the day, I'm a dance teacher. For me, it's about teaching and about making it into beautiful routines, which will be interesting for people to watch. There's always can be a story or traits through dancing. So I think that's how we have to see it. It's not necessarily two women dancing together or two men dancing together.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I've got 5 left feet, so it wouldn't really count to me. But if I had to have a woman partner, I'd like to have somebody bigger than me, taller than me. Only because if she was the same height as me, the things that bump into each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? We have things that bump into each other. Yeah. And I wouldn't really like that. But Kristina, I'm going to go and ask you. I just think you are so beautiful. From the first time I saw you on Strictly, I hated you at first sight because I thought that woman is gorgeous.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
But I want to ask you about, you all the sort of the makeup and all of the stuff that you have. What if you could give us any fantastic makeup tips about how to look glowy like you always do? What would that be?
Wow, it's a big compliment, first of all. Thank you. And I don't look like that every day. As a yoga teacher, you see me in completely different ways now because I'm always, in my sweatpants, sweat clothes, and also no makeup. But today for you ladies, and obviously for everybody who's going to be watching, I thought I would put a bit of the Strictly glamour back on. And I do love it. Obviously, a big fan of makeup, but more into skincare. I think once you turn 40, I'm 42 now, you're kind of very much into the how can you make your skin look better, you know, what can you do? And so for me, it's all about more like really having a good moisturizer. I'm a big fan of aloe vera products, you know, because it's obviously it's a cactus, it retains lots of water. So I do like products like, there is a company called Forever Living. They have a beautiful skincare, all packed with aloe vera extract. So I use that for my, like a daily skincare regime. As far as makeup, it kind of, you know, goes one month I like one thing and 1 month I like the other. But I always was a fan of mineral makeup because, again, I think it's quite healthy thing, like bare minerals I like a lot of other products which just has a mineral makeup. And I think it does give you a bit of that natural glow, the minerals themselves. So it's always feels like my skin is still breathing. So it's when I dance and even on Strictly, I still used a lot of mineral makeup, you know, especially powder and foundation. Because I think you don't feel that you caked, you know, so much. And we do use a lot of obviously makeup on
I use it. That makes me feel good because I use the mineral makeup.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Just so happen to have it.
Yes, there you go. And there is another product, I think it's called Glow Minerals, and I love that. But there is so many alternatives as well. And even MAC has mineral powder. That's what we use in Strictly a lot. So I love that because it does have a nice, beautiful finish. So
Great.
Well, thank you, darling, so much for coming to see us. Just tell us before you go away where we can get hold of you if somebody wants to join your class.
Yeah, you can find me personally on all my social media. Obviously, I have little blue ticks, that's authorized pages, so you can find me like that. More than welcome to DM. I'm always quite active on my channels. But for So Yoga, it's SOOyoga.com or SOO Yoga on Instagram. You can find us and send us a message about anything really. We always answer everyone who gets in touch. So
brilliant.
Thank you. That's
Thank
brilliant.
You. Thank you so much
ladies.
for joining us.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to
Thank you, darling.
Thank you, darling.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
That was fascinating. Absolutely
Wasn't it?
fascinating. Really wonderful.
She's
It
great,
makes me
isn't
feel
she?
better to think that she uses the same makeup that I do.
Yeah, and she looks brilliant too, doesn't she?
Yeah, she looks amazing.
Lovely.
Absolutely amazing. So what's happening? What day is it today? Is it
Sunday.
Oh, yes, we have a little treat for tomorrow,
We
don't
do.
we? We've got a special coming up sometime tomorrow afternoon, and you will find out. You can see Linda's bargain bucket.
Yes.
Yeah, Linda Lusardi talking about her makeup, the bargain bucket. That should be fun, shouldn't it, Sherry?
Oh yeah.
What
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to say is, who's come? We're going to all be together though on Friday. Who's coming in
Yeah.
then?
It's your friend, isn't it, Ria?
It's
Yeah.
Rhea Jones. Yeah.
Oh,
She
I
really
love her.
knows. She's the most wonderful, talented, extraordinary musical theatre star.
She
She's
is.
amazing.
She must be missing the West End now. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like
Of course she is.
No, well, that's exciting. So that's Friday. But anyway, guys, we will see you with Linda tomorrow and her
Yeah.
bargain bucket.
Yeah.
And then on Friday. So have a lovely couple of days.
Yes.
Well, actually, we'll have a lovely couple of days because we see you every day.
Absolutely. Woo.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.